Welcome to our audio commentary coverage. This broadcast is not an official product of this competition.
His arm goes up to apologise for the decision to take that solo. There were options in the middle. It was a great first touch to beat Matthijs de Ligt. He's been beaten too easily though, and this is bearing down on goal. Lenny Yoro's in two minds as to whether to close Mateta down or cover the option in the middle. He's done the right thing by hesitating. And Pino was an option about 5 yards to his right hand side. Further over was Ismail Assar. It's Manchester United with the goal kick. It's played short by de Ligt, and no Crystal Palace players are in that area. As de Ligt walks away, it allows Lamens to do the exact same and take it to the edge of his area. Crystal Palace still backing away at the moment. Lamens plays this out to his left hand side now for Shaw. Up towards the halfway line, waits for the pressure from Sarr. It's almost too late, but gets it back to Lamens on his penalty spot. Now out to de Ligt. Still pressure now on Manchester United as Lamens takes this touch just outside of the 6-yard box. Mateta closes him down. Long ball upfield headed away by Richards. Gay's going to get there for the second tackle, and it's played out to Munoz on the right hand side. Now inside to Wharton and back to Richards. Across to Gay. Still has support down his left hand side. Goes into the middle for Kamada. Back, and it's an awkward pass for Dean Henderson to deal with, but he takes the touch away from Joshua Zirkzee. Gets the clearance upfield, headed on by Mateta towards Sarr, who's running as if the injury never happened, so he seems to have managed to shake off whatever happened with his right ankle. Just looked awkward with how he landed on it as Casemiro goes into a tackle, this time with Daichi Kamada, and it's Kamada that's committed the foul. And Casemiro's just holding on to his calf area, as he looks to be in a bit of discomfort as well. It was just one of those tackles where I think it's the trailing leg that's caught Casemiro. He's tried to let this run across his body, and as he's done so, Kamada's just tried to put the tackle in, and it is quite a rash tackle from the Crystal Palace midfielder. The free kick is given to Manchester United in a dangerous position, as again the centre-backs make the way forward. Bruno Fernandes is stood over this free kick. Zirkzee stood on his own in an offside position at the moment, expecting Crystal Palace defenders perhaps to make the run back. Plenty of options in the middle, as it is expected to put a lot of pressure on this Crystal Palace defence. Quite a high line at the moment, around 30 yards out this free kick. Plays on the edge of the area though, is the furthest back for Crystal Palace. Cross comes in towards the middle, headed goalwards by Casemiro, but just wide. And a goal kick now to Crystal Palace. Dean Henderson will just slow things down slightly to allow his players to regroup. Mark Gay was the one going up for the challenge with Casemiro. Away goes the goal kick by Dean Henderson out to the right hand side towards Mateta, but it's going to take a couple of bounces before going out of play deep inside of Manchester United's half, and they'll have a throw in out on the left hand side. Now taking a long throw down the line from Dalot towards Zirkzee in the channel. He's still by the touchline. Good tackle by Munoz, only gets the ball to Dalot though. Now to Zirkzee, tries to feed it back through to Mason Mount, wasn't equal to it, and Wharton gets in there. Now to Mateta, looks out to his right hand side for support, gets it out to Munoz by the touchline, just slows things down and back into his own half. Chip ball back to Dean Henderson, who's got plenty of time on the edge of his own area, and plays it out to Lacroix. Now Mason Mount will close him down as away it goes by Henderson up towards the halfway line. Mateta brings this down. It's a nice first touch, lays this off for Ismail Assar, dribbles this out to the left hand side by the touchline. Now plays it back to Tyreek Mitchell, brings it back to Mark Gay, and back to Mitchell again. Now back to Gay. Gay all the way back to his goalkeeper, and Henderson takes a touch inside of the area. Out to his right hand side for Lacroix. Lacroix further over for Richards. Richards down the right hand side. It's well read by Dalot. Gets a strong foot in, but it only goes to Mateta. Mateta out to Munoz. Has to hold up again. He didn't get the ball fed through to him. Gets it to Wharton anyway, inside of Manchester United's half. Out to Pino. Pino lays this off for Kamada. Out to Mitchell on the left hand side, edge of the area. Ball in towards the middle. Dealt with well by Lenny Yoro, and it's going to be a throw in on the left hand side for Crystal Palace, equal with the edge of the goalkeeper's area. Well worked and well built up again. Pino with the first touch to lay this off for Kamada. Nice ball down the left hand side for Mitchell, and that was going all the way through to Mateta had it not been for the challenge from Lenny Yoro. But across comes Chris Richards to take the throw in, and a long throw specialist of their own for Crystal Palace. Already seen from Manchester United in the opening minute of the game that they were very close to getting themselves on the score sheet from the long throw from Diogo Dalot. Crystal Palace will be hoping to go a step further and taking the lead through this, as Richards has support around the 6-yard box. Long throw in towards the area. It's a great throw as well, headed on towards the edge of the area. It falls to Wharton, sent directly towards Lemons, who holds on to the ball inside the 6-yard box on the second attempt. It was headed clear. I think it was Casemiro that got the header clear, and it just fell quite favourably to Adam Wharton. He had time to take a touch if he wanted it, but he still managed to keep his shot on target. Lemons took the sting out of it with his first save, and then just dived onto the ball immediately before Ismaila Sarr could pounce on the effort. And out from Lemons to Yoro. Now to Mbermo. Loses out to Mitchell, inside to Kamada. Kamada forward towards Sarr, tackled by Shaw. Out to the left hand side now with Yoro. Yoro loses out to Pino, who tries to feed it through to Kamada. Again, it's gone all the way through to Lemons, who again will take a touch inside the 6-yard box and just maintain possession. Burmo was really struggling in possession at that point, he was under pressure immediately when he received the ball. It was a poor pass to invite the pressure onto Manchester United, as now it's with Luke Shaw. Across to De Ligt. Now to Yoro. Yoro's long ball down the line. Xerxes heads this down into the midfield area. Mount can't get there, and Adam Wharton retrieves it back for the hosts. Out to Munoz, now all the way back to Henderson. Munoz still offering support by the touchline as it goes back to Henderson. And out to the left hand side. And back to Henderson again. It's clearance out onto the left hand side. It's headed down by Casemiro. Gone back by Kamada. Takes it back towards his own goal and has to bring Henderson back into play. Still on the edge of the 6-yard box at the moment. Real space to take this towards the edge of the area. No real pressure either. Eventually Xerxes will close him down. And away it goes by Henderson up towards Mateta. Headed by De Ligt. It's bounced back off for a Manchester United player. There's a chance here for Mateta. He's bearing down on goal and he's dragged it just wide. And there goes the best chance of the game for Crystal Palace. It was headed clear by De Ligt. It bounced back off of, I believe it came off of Lenny Yoro into the path of Mateta, which meant Mateta was definitely onside. He perhaps had another touch before having to take a shot, but he was forced to take it early because of the recovery from Lenny Yoro. And he dragged it just wide of the goal. And for a player that's been so clinical in front of goal throughout this season for Crystal Palace and creating chances as well, that's one that he really will have expected himself to have gone on target. Headed away now by Richards from the goal kick, down to Shaw, across to Bruno Fernandes, now to Lenny Yoro, out to his right hand side, and down the line it goes to Diallo, further to Brian Mbermo, takes this towards the touchline, finds the overlapping run from Diallo, closed down by Tyreek Mitchell, still with Diallo towards the corner flag, plays it back towards Brian Mbermo, but Mark Gay gets the tackle in, and it's going to be a throw into Manchester United on the right hand side, round equal with the edge of the area at the moment. Cross goes and Diallo to take this. Support options available for him. He's going to leave it now for Diogo Dalot as he gets himself towards the edge of the area. A long throw expected again by Manchester United into the area, and it's a strong throw by Dalot, headed away, chased down by Munoz. He's flicked this on. It's going to be chased down further by Mateta, but Shaw gets there first and plays it all the way back to his goalkeeper, and it allows Manchester United to regroup defensively. The exact same for Crystal Palace as Lemens plays this short now to Yoro. Yoro has space to take this up towards the halfway line, gives it to De Ligt 5 yards to his left, still inside of Manchester United's half. Patiently waiting at Crystal Palace at the moment. They've got players in all the channels stopping forward pass from De Ligt. He's had to go to his left to Luke Shaw, ball over the top towards Xerxes. He's under pressure there from Chris Richards, who does win it back eventually and plays this out to Henderson, takes the touch inside the 6-yard box and away it goes. Shaw brings this down for Dalot. Shaw making the run through the middle. He's let that run for Bruno Fernandes, who takes it into his own half. Switches this out to the right hand side, drills pass out to Diallo. Controls it well, but he's under pressure from Tyreek Mitchell. Searches for Brian Mbermo down the line, headed away and out of play by Mark Gay, and the referee's gone with his linesman, giving this as a free kick to Crystal Palace. And Rob Jones will go across now and just have a quick word with Brian Mbermo, who's thrown the ball down in frustration, and he'll receive a yellow card as a result. Bruno Fernandes just explaining to Brian Mbermo to just calm things down. He's shouted expletives towards the linesman at the same time as throwing the ball down, and that's why Rob Jones has taken no chance and stamped authority on with the first opportunity he's got. The opening 20 minutes of the game, it's the first real challenge that I say has even deserved a yellow card. Wasn't really the challenge he's been booked for. Dean Henderson will come out and take the free kick from the left hand side, inside of where the line is. Field it goes, headed on into a channel towards Tyreek Mitchell, who's let that run behind. It'll be the first corner of the afternoon now for Crystal Palace, out on the left hand side. There's a flick on from Joshua Zirkzee, who jumped up for the head, and it was chased down by Lenny Yoro, who couldn't keep it in play. Plays up from the back again for Crystal Palace. You've got Mark Gay, Matt Sensler-Croy and Chris Richards all in the area at the moment. In-swinging corner expected. Lemens under some pressure inside of the 6-yard box. In goes the in-swinging corner towards the middle. It's evaded everybody. It's going to be chased down at the back post by Dallow. Maybe he saw that it was going to be going out for a corner. He's kept it in play and he's going to try and launch a counter-attack down the left-hand side. Plays it through for Mbermo. He's up against Richards at the moment. He doesn't have any immediate support. Eventually finds Zirkzee. Lays this ball off for Casemiro. Still a chance for Manchester United. Forward to Diallo. First touch is heavy. One back in the midfield area by Wharton, who's brought down. Referee waves away with a free kick, and Crystal Palace win the ball back, and he was about to blow for a free kick in that direction. He instead doesn't. It's a through ball now for Ismail Assar inside the area. Cross is blocked. It's a corner for Crystal Palace out on the right hand side. De Ligt throwing his body in the way from the ball across the middle from Ismail Assar, but two challenges that could have been a free kick, one for either side in the opposite side of the field. First on Diallo from Kamada, and then the one just a second later, one for either side that the referee blew away and just allowed play to continue. And then Ismail Assar's cross, tried to drag it back to the edge of the area. Kamada was offering support and it was turned behind in the end by the tackle from De Ligt, and we've got an out-swinging corner on its way from the left-hand side. Wharton's corner goes in towards the back post, headed back across the middle by Richards, cleared away by De Ligt, only as far as the edge of the area. Cross back in towards the middle. Richards will try and get a second and maybe even third attempt at getting the shot away. And as the flag stays down, it will be a third corner for Crystal Palace out on the left-hand side as they continue to pressure this Manchester United defence. Richards' ball back across the middle caused all sorts of problems, and then Pino's ball back towards the back post. And it was the toe poke from Diogo Dallo. They immediately looked towards the linesman, hoping that Richards was in an offside position, but it was waved away. And that will be Yeremy Pino to take the corner. It will be an in-swinging corner for Crystal Palace. Out on the left-hand side this time. Players have remained forward. Still plays back for Manchester United. In towards the middle. Headed goalwards, but just over. And it's going to be a goal kick now as a result of Max Sensler-Croy's header winning it around the penalty spot. But again, Manchester United defensively in these set pieces, they're really struggling to win the first and even the second ball, as just proven a moment ago. And it's the centre-backs they're targeting each time. And it can't be kept down by Crystal Palace centre-back Max Sensler-Croy, and it will be a goal kick to Manchester United now, with Lemens to take. Out to the left-hand side, headed down by Richards. There'll be a throw-in on the left-hand side for Manchester United, as Dallow will go across to take. With options down the line, throws it through the middle. Richards reads well up towards Casemiro. Headed on by Bruno Fernandes. Felt a nudge in the back, nothing given. Throwing to Crystal Palace as he flicks the ball on. Not too many complaints from Manchester United personnel either that wasn't a free kick in their favour, as Daniel Munoz goes across to take the throw in. Throws it down, and first time clearance from Kamada upfield towards the halfway line, away by Casemiro. Slices it, if anything, just out of play, and it'll be another throw in to Crystal Palace 10 yards further forward down that right hand side. As the Crystal Palace supporters find their voice, really urging this side on. And the statement win would come against Manchester United. It's thrown inside to Wharton, pass across the middle. It's now with Brian Mbermo out to the left hand side for Zirkzee, blocked by Chris Richards again, and now to Casemiro, loses out on possession, and Kamada nearly pounces on it, but it's out to Dallow, headed away by Richards, in towards Wharton again. Richards there again on the return ball back towards Mason Mount, and Dallow running through, tripped by Daniel Munoz, and wins a free kick by the touchline on the left hand side. Munoz feels that it was an innocent coming together of legs, and the referee disagrees, and it will be a free kick to Manchester United as we reach the halfway point of this first half. Crystal Palace 0, Manchester United 0. Both teams trying to create something. They've been very patient in the build-up to it. Both have had a very good chance to get themselves on the score sheet. Casemiro couldn't convert from 3 yards out, and Mateta bearing down on goal with his chance after a ricocheted header from De Ligt, bounced back off Lenny Yoro. If you are just joining us, 22.5 minutes gone. Crystal Palace 0, Manchester United 0 here at Selhurst Park, and a free kick now on the left-hand side. Casemiro and Fernandes both stood over this free kick. I think it will be Fernandes that puts this in-swinging free kick into the area. He doesn't do so. Instead, it's going to be out-swinging. It still goes towards the penalty area, headed away on the first attempt, and Pino's ball puts it back in towards the dangerous area, headed on, and out comes Henderson with authority to catch the ball in and amongst the Crystal Palace defenders. So he'll take his time as Jeremy Pino looks frustrated that he'd got a breakaway on the left-hand side, and Henderson opted against it. Out to Richards now, down the right-hand side to Adam Wharton by the touchline. Wharton further forward towards Ismaila Sarr. Tackle made by Diogo Dalot. It takes the bounce and headed away by De Ligt. Back into Manchester United's half, flicked on by Pino, going to be chased down by Sarr. And it's out to the left-hand side with Dalot, still under some pressure, gets the pass off into the middle for Casemiro. Gets a toe to it to knock it on towards Brian and Burmo, but Gay's there to win it back for Crystal Palace. Now a chance to break away with Wharton. Wharton lets the pass off to Ismaila Sarr. Back to the edge of the area, sent goalwards, low effort, held well. I think a free kick's been given instead to Crystal Palace. No, he's allowed it to continue, and the shot taken away. Probably makes that the right decision. It was a late tackle from Casemiro on Wharton. Crystal Palace did have a good advantage, and they got the shot away by Daichi Kamada. Now the men's drops this to the edge of the area, plays it short to Luke Shaw. Sarr still out on his right hand side, just cutting out the channel towards Mason Mount as it is coming back defensively. Plays it across instead to De Ligt and back to Shaw. Very well disciplined at the moment, Crystal Palace defensively. They're playing as a unit. Midfield's working back in front as well. That's the way it goes by Casemiro, chased down by Xerxes, headed back by Richards all the way back to his goalkeeper. It's with Dean Henderson inside of the area, just holding on to the ball now, rolls it out to Maxence Lacroix. That right hand side, strong tackle by Shaw, now with Xerxes on the edge of the area. Tackle comes in, but it's played back to Casemiro, now with Mount on the edge of the area on the left hand side. Richards is alongside him. Cross comes in towards the middle, headed away by Gay, falls to Diallo, tries to head it back towards Mbermo. Not the tallest of target men towards the back post, both Mbermo and Diallo, and it made it all too easy for Mark Gay to get the clearance away. It's still in Manchester United's half, still in Manchester United's possession though, with Shaw out to Mason Mount. Back to Shaw around the halfway line. Shaw down to the left hand side now for Diogo Dalot. Back to Shaw, still at the halfway line. Goes into his own half now, across to Matthijs de Ligt in the centre circle. Out to the right hand side for Yoro. Yoro through the middle for Xerxes. Tackle made then by Mark Gay. Referee allows play to continue, and it's threaded through for Sarr, but Luke Shaw's first to it. Helps it back to his goalkeeper. It cuts out the chance that Crystal Palace had of closing this pressure down and building the momentum, but Wharton wins it back in midfield. Now to Munoz. Munoz has a breakaway. There's a slip there from Bruno Fernandes. Crossing towards the middle. Strong hand from Lemens. It's fallen to the back post to Yano. Can't get a shot away. It's blocked in the end, and Pino can't get a clear shot away. And it's now a breakaway for Manchester United with Bruno Fernandes. Ball out to the right-hand side, headed away by Gay, brought down by Kamada. Now with Chris Richards. It was Pino on the back post that couldn't get the shot away. It was Yoro that was throwing the tackle in, as his goalkeeper was out of his area. He'd come out to claim it the first attempt and just pushed it away straight into the path of Jeremy Pino. Now with Lacroix. Tries to beat his man, but it's well read by Mason Mount, and one back for Manchester United. Back into his own half now with Matthijs de Ligt over the top towards the back post, and Lacroix takes no chances and heads that behind for a corner to Manchester United out on the left hand side. Just a moment ago it was a breakaway by Munoz on the right hand side. Bruno Fernandes had lost his footing and it blocked out the run back that was being made by Amad Diallo, and it fell to Pino at the back post, brought it down on his chest. His effort was blocked well by Jeremy Pino, and then Lenny Yoro got in the way. The men's was trying to regain ground from the moments just before where he'd pushed the ball into the direction. Now an in-swinging corner on the left hand side from Bruno Fernandes. Again, options in the middle. Emile Sarr was coming away with the ball. There's a late tackle on him from the edge of their own area. It does just calm things down. Dean Henderson will be the one to take this, sends his players up towards the half. Now to the left hand side. Too heavy of a pass for Diallo, and it's going to be a throw into Crystal Palace in front of the technical area. He's back inside now for Kamada. Kamada up towards the edge of the area, plays it through to Mateta. It's intercepted by De Ligt and he's led away on this left hand side. Mason Mount, he's dribbled it inside of Chris Richards, but Adam Wharton's back helping out and wins it back for Crystal Palace now with Munoz. Now to Wharton, then Sarr. Tackle from Shaw, slide tackle comes in from Adam Wharton, wins it back for Palace again. Now to the left hand side. Pino can't get there, and the tackle from Diallo. The referee's saying it came off of Pino last. It will be a throw in to Manchester United out on that right hand side as Amad Diallo goes across to take it. Started as a winger with Manchester United, been forced into more of a wing back role, perhaps due to personnel options. Throwing goes back by Gabe. Now Kamada to Mateta. Now back to Wharton. Wharton over the top to the left hand side. Diallo probably didn't know too much about that, but he still managed to win it back for United. Now to Casemiro. Now Mount towards Xerxes. It's bounced back off the heel of Xerxes, trying to make a run between Richards and Lacroix, and it comes back with Crystal Palace at the moment. Now it's out to Richards on the edge of the area. Down the right hand side for Munoz. Munoz back to Richards. His clearance down the line towards Mateta. It's being held up at the moment. Across comes Jeremy Pino to help out. Free kick's being given in Manchester United's favour, saying there was arms around the back of Lenny Yoro. That was a bit harsh, but Rob Jones didn't hesitate and Crystal Palace didn't argue. Fernandez plays this back to De Ligt, over the top towards Diallo, but it's bounced all the way through to Dean Henderson. He catches it on the bounce inside of his area. Looks back to his 6-yard box now before putting the ball down. Xerxes pressurised it. Out to Lacroix. Now Richards. Just through the middle, headed down by Casemiro, then to Mbermo, back to Casemiro on the edge of the area, plays it back to Shaw. Then across the middle to Yoro. Now De Ligt. It goes all the way back to his keeper, and it's with Lemons just on the edge of his area. Takes it back into his area. Can't pick the ball up. It was played back by his own player. Now to Yoro. Closed down by Pino as it goes back to Lemons. And back out to Lenny Yoro again on the edge of the area. Over the top it goes down the right hand side, headed away by Mark Gade towards the centre circle, now with Adam Wharton out to the left hand side for Jeremy Pino, back to Wharton and now for Sarr, now Mateta. He's holding this up with Sarr making a run, but Mateta can make a run towards the edge of the area himself, tries to get the cross in, it's blocked, it falls back to Mateta. He's under pressure by Diallo, still on the edge of the area at the moment, has support available, gives it back to Tyreek Mitchell, further back to Kamada, inside to Wharton. Wharton now back to Mateta, inside of the area, he's brought down, no hesitation from Rob Jones to point to the spot. It's a Crystal Palace penalty, a clumsy challenge from Lenny Yoro. It's a well placed pass from Adam Wharton through the middle to Mateta, who takes a touch into the area, and as he's lining up to get a shot away, I'm just going to look at the replay to see. Oh, he's just, the knee as Lenny Yoro started to go down. I don't know if he's lost his footing on the way through. It looks like his knee perhaps has caught the heel of Mateta, who's gone down. But Rob Jones didn't take any time to hesitate and pointed straight to the spot. It'll be a Crystal Palace penalty. And Mateta is back to his feet to take this himself. So, Lemons against Mateta from the spot. Rob Jones just telling him he needs to place the ball down, ensuring that all players are outside of the area. A chance for Crystal Palace. Chance for Mateta. Takes a deep breath. The whistle's gone. He takes a run up, sends the keeper the wrong way. No mistake, into the bottom corner from Jean-Philippe Mateta to make it Crystal Palace 1, Manchester United 0. And it's a mistake again from Manchester United defensively. They've had a lot of work to do inside of this first half so far, and they've dealt with it quite well. Apart from the one chance that did fall to Mateta on the edge of the area that he dragged wide. Otherwise, Manchester United have stood quite firm. And I don't think it was a tackle that necessarily needed to be made by Lenny Yoro that led to the penalty. But Mateta has made no mistake from the spot to add to an already impressive tally this season. It is now, with 33 minutes on the clock, Crystal Palace 1, Manchester United 0. And the side that concedes so few goals in the Premier League will now need to be broken down by a Manchester United side that, other than in the first minute when Casemiro had a chance, well, we are having a VAR check on something extremely bizarre. The penalty's been taken, and the referee's just explained to the two captains there's a potential double touch from Mateta. They're checking as potentially, when he's stepping up to take this penalty, his left foot has caught the ball before his right foot has. And Rob Jones is just checking the penalty over. I've not actually seen this happen in the Premier League since the introduction of VAR, but we are checking for a double touch. And the decision is accidental double touch by Mateta. So the penalty will be retaken. So a second chance for Manchester United. I'm just going to check. Oh, so it's when his right foot has come through to take the penalty, it has bounced the ball off of his left foot from where he's placed it. And nobody argued against that. Nobody saw it happen. And I guess in real time it's very difficult to see it happen. But now it's tougher to score the penalty the second time around, but he's got a second chance to save it. Has Sen Lemens. He's up against Mateta once again with a chance from the spot. Sends it the opposite direction. The keeper dives the opposite direction again, and it's Crystal Palace 1, Manchester United 0 for a second time. And Mateta will repeat the celebration. Lemens went the direction in which the first penalty did. Mateta went the direction in which the goalkeeper did the first time around. And Crystal Palace fans will have a second chance to celebrate. 36 minutes on the clock, and potentially an after 4 minutes at the end of this first half. But Mateta makes no mistake, and this time kept his foot firmly away from the ball so that his striking foot could make sure it did the job. Crystal Palace 1, Manchester United 0 is the scoreline, as United will this time get things back underway for us. I imagine it will be the same as it was when we got the game underway, with Brian and Burmo doing the honours. And he will do on the whistle of Rob Jones. Plays it all the way back to Lemens on the edge of his area, and he gets the ball away upfield deep into Crystal Palace's half. This time the header's won by Richards back towards the halfway line, headed down by Pino towards Wharton. Wharton out to the left hand side. It's with Mateta again. He's in confidence at the moment. He's in stride. Out to Pino on the edge of the area. A chance for Palace to double, but he's been tripped there inside the area. Wants another penalty. It's been given in Manchester United's favour as a free kick on the edge of the area, this time by Rob Jones, saying that when Pino went down, he tripped Lenny Yoro. But now Crystal Palace will make a change, and I think this may be a forced change. you've been with us from the beginning, you'll remember that there was an injury to Ismail Assar. He tried to run this off, and he's played the remaining 15 to 20 minutes with what looks like a bit of a knock, but now Crystal Palace have the lead. Perhaps that requirement isn't so much needed, and Ismail Assar will leave the field, and he will be replaced by Eddie Nketiah, who I assume will undertake the same role as Sarr was doing. And he will move straight out onto the right hand side as Manchester United get things back underway with a pass from De Ligt out to Luke Shaw. Shaw by the touchline on this left hand side, down the line to Diogo Dalot. Tackle made by Nketiah, thrown on the left hand side now for Manchester United. It will be taken by Dalot. Goes us back towards his own half to Luke Shaw. Inside to De Ligt. A lot of work now in that final third for Manchester United to need to do. Flicked on by Fernandes. Headed down by Diogo Dalot with Xerxes on the edge of the area. Watered out towards Pino, and now it's with Mateta out to the right hand side, and a breakaway now for Daniel Munoz by the touchline, takes us to the edge of the area, plays it across towards Wharton. He's let it run, and away it goes by Casemiro, but it gives possession back to Kamada. Now with Munoz, opens up a cross, chance goes in towards Mateta. It's headed away by De Ligt, now to Mitchell on the edge of the area, still with Crystal Palace at the moment. Brings this back to Mark Guéhi, and across now towards Mitchell again. Cross low and hard comes in, headed away by Casemiro, further away by Mbeumo. Now towards Xerxes, a breakaway for Diallo on the right hand side, plays this down the line, going to be closed down by Lacroix. It forces Diallo to go back towards his own half. Now with Brian Mbeumo, makes the overlapping run. He's got the run of Tyreek Mitchell, is closed down by Lacroix, and eventually it's going to be a throw into United on the right hand side. As Mbeumo makes that surging run down the right hand side. Chance on the edge of the area, and a long throw into the box with Yaro and De Ligt in there as well. Towards the 6 yard box it goes, flicked on towards the middle, it's gone all the way through, and it's eventually headed away by Richards and behind, and it'll be another Manchester United corner out on the right hand side, and it almost made its way all the way through towards Joshua Xerxes. And we'll have an in-swinging corner from that right hand side as De Ligt makes his way into the area. Luke Shaw's in there as well. He's not somebody that throughout his career has been known for being quite a threat inside of the area. He's more on the edge of the area usually, lurking around for a chance to get the ball back in. Shaw, Dalot, De Ligt, Xerxes all around the back post of the 6 yard box, surrounded by Crystal Palace players. Henderson's currently free inside of the 6 yard box, in swinging corner on its way by Mbeumo, in towards the near post, headed away by Mateta, edge of the area headed down by Bruno Fernandes. It's now with Diallo, a chance to get the ball back in. Instead goes across towards Fernandes, cross back in towards the middle by Bruno Fernandes, strong hand away by Henderson, it falls to Dalot, back towards the back post. Xerxes is going to try and keep this in play, he does, and he plays it back to Mbeumo. Hesitates on putting the cross in, gives it back to Fernandes, strong cross in, headed away by Richards, onto the edge of the area with Dalot. Dallot's cross back in towards the middle, headed away by Richards again. And then Wharton eventually clears the lines up towards the halfway line. Shaw's going to get there and heads it out right now to Bruno Fernandes. He was closed down by 2 players. Fernandes gets the overlapping run from Dalot. It's still a chance here with Manchester United at the moment. Back to Fernandes on the edge of the area, strikes it goalwards, over and goal kick for Crystal Palace, just as it slows things down. Got it on the bounce and on its way back up, and might explain why it ended up in the stands instead of on target at Dean Henderson's goal. Into the last 4 minutes of regular time at the end of this first half. Bruno Fernandes again issuing very frustrating instructions towards his teammates. Ruben Amorim also with a job to do at half time to try and rally this Manchester United side. We've gone 1-0 down on 2 occasions in this first half. Mason Mount wins his side of throwing on that left hand side. Dalot goes across to take just inside of Manchester United's half. Dalot throws this back to Luke Shaw. Shaw over the top, headed away by Richards and towards the middle, brought down by Casemiro. And there's a throw-in on the left-hand side. Tackle made by Daniel Munoz. Dallo again goes across to take it. Goes it back into his own half towards Luke Shaw this time. Luke Shaw goes further back and across to De Ligt. And back to Shaw. Over the top into the channel, headed down by Munoz, controlled by Bruno Fernandes, tackled by Wharton out on that right-hand side for Munoz to get there. He gets the ball away. As it stayed in play, the linesman says no, it's gone out and come back in. It's going to be a Manchester United throwing on that left-hand side. And across goes Dallo to take. Back towards the halfway line now with Luke Shaw. Back to De Ligt. And then back to Shaw. Shaw inside to Fernandes. Inside of Manchester United's half, across to De Ligt outside of the centre circle, takes it into Crystal Palace's half, out to Yoro, now to Mbeumo, back to Yoro, and the linesman's flag saying that the pass back to Lenny Yoro's gone out of play, and it'll be a throw into Crystal Palace. And at the moment they're just able to take the time of the host. They've got the 1-0 lead, and as it stands, Manchester United are struggling to break down this Palace defence. They're not the only side that's done so. It's been a struggle for most teams this year. They are set up quite well defensively, as now it's with Lemons again on the edge of the 6-yard box, and away it goes to his left-hand side, all the way through by Lacroix, and headed back by Mark Gay all the way back to Henderson. And it's interesting to see just where Crystal Palace will go defensively in the summer transfer window. Of course, on the deadline day from August, it was expected that Mark Gay was to leave the club and go to Liverpool, but the final few moments, that plan fell through. Will it happen in January, or will it be kept all the way through to summer again, where Mark Gay will be expected to leave the club? Liverpool could do with a bit more support defensively, of course, and somebody like Mark Gay does very much fit the bill. Is it something they will revisit in January, knowing that Palace have more time to be able to find a replacement? Away it goes now by Lacroix, now with Dallo. At the moment, Gay has been quite quiet in this game. Manchester United haven't done too much down that right-hand side, and perhaps that's testament to just how much Mark Gay and Tyreek Mitchell have held out Diallo and Mbeumo. As a tackle comes in from Casemiro, and a free kick will be given to Crystal Palace deep inside of their own half. That's quite a fair challenge to me, and Casemiro feels the same. He's wiped through Wharton, but he's also claimed the ball on his way through with a tackle as well. Free kick as we reach the 45th minute of this first half. 5 minutes at a time has been given, and it's headed away by Richards into Manchester United's half. Flicked on by Mateta, cleared as far as Pino on the edge of the area. Can he get a shot away? Good tackle by Shaw. Pino's down and Shaw's down at the moment inside the area. Pino's back to his feet. Shaw is slow to get back to his feet. Now Yoro comes away with the ball. Tackle made by Kamada. Another rash challenge made, but it's Crystal Palace that come away with the ball. Kamada's still down at the moment. Mateta threads it back through, and it's with Mitchell inside the area. Options in the middle, brings it back towards Mateta. Casemiro's on hand to win it back, and now it's out to Amad Diallo as Kamada's slow to get back to his feet, but he's starting to do so now. It's inside to Casemiro. Inside the centre circle, out to the right-hand side for Mbeumo. Chest this down by the touchline, brings it inside. He's got support available for him, plays it across the middle towards Mount. Eddie Nketiah gets the ball away. It's still with Diallo now on the right-hand side. Cross in, away by Lacroix. Now with Yoro. Yoro back to the centre circle to De Ligt, and out to Luke Shaw. And out to Mason Mount. And now Dallo. Now Shaw. Cross goes in towards the back post. Mitchell heads this away, unchallenged. Further away by Pino. And headed on by Mateta. He was hoping for the run of Pino on that left-hand side, but wasn't equal to it. And now De Ligt plays it inside to Shaw. Shaw up towards Crystal Palace's half, then has to go back to De Ligt because Nketiah has closed him down, and now to Yoro. They're trying to find challenge there from Diallo, and inside to Casemiro, and Mateta then closing him down, and Manchester United just trying to make a break on that right hand side, but they're forced back into their own half. Now the first half's kind of gone at the moment. Crystal Palace just doing so well defensively as a setup. They are really disciplined at the moment, and now Fernandes plays it back through, and Dallo gets a breakaway down the left hand side. Cross goes in towards the middle, headed away by Kamada. Wharton gets there just before it gets to Fernandez. Nketiah heads this down for Pino. Gets it ball back. Out to Nketiah on the left-hand side. There's been a slip there for De Ligt. And Eddie Nketiah is racing down the left-hand side. Takes it into the area. He's got Munoz to his right-hand side. Well read and blocked by Luke Shaw. Falls back to Wharton on the edge of the area. It's not over yet for Manchester United. Wharton brings it inside. Goes down. Wants a free kick. Not given. As now Manchester United come away with Casemiro. Now Xerxes lays this ball off for Fernandez. Out to the left-hand side for Dalot. A breakaway now available for Manchester United on the left-hand side. Dalot to the edge of the area. Plays it across the middle. It's with Diallo on the edge of the area. Puts it onto his favoured left foot. Chip ball into the middle. Put down behind Diogo Dalot. Tries to find that lap run. But Munoz is back helping out, and Crystal Palace will clear the lines again. Now Pino out to Nketiah. Nketiah forced back into his own half. Now Kamada over the top. It's back into Manchester United's half, but it allows Crystal Palace to regroup as we are halfway through the added time at the end of this first half. It's with Bruno Fernandes. Manchester United desperately trying to get themselves on the score sheet before half time. Now Mbeumo blocked by Gay. Away it goes by Pino. Back to Yoro on the right hand side. He's got Diallo still for support, and Mbeumo running through the middle. Finds it to Diallo. It's closed down and slowed down the chance of Manchester United getting across into the middle, and it's back to Matthijs de Ligt. Across it goes now to Luke Shaw, and now Dalot with Mount for support. Mount gets it on the edge of the area. Left foot across goes in towards the middle. Kamada heads this away. It's back into a dangerous area, and Munoz wins the header ahead of Mason Mount, and it's out to Shaw. Now inside to Bruno Fernandes. Switches this out to the right hand side for Diallo. Brings this down under pressure from Mitchell. Can he keep it in play? Flag stays down. He has done so, and he plays it back to Mbeumo. Lets it run across his body. Turns to get the shot away, and he's challenged by Jeremy Pino, and it'll be a free kick to Manchester United on the edge of the area. It's Mbeumo and perhaps Bruno Fernandes to be stood over this free kick as Luke Shaw makes his way into the air after a couple of very good challenges. It stops Crystal Palace from doubling their advantage. Eddie Nketiah's last run down that left hand side due to another Manchester United player losing his footing. That happened in the build up to the first goal as well. And it's going to be Bruno Fernandes to put this cross in. It's going to be an outswinger then from the edge of the area. I expected Bruno to maybe step away from this and Brian Mbeumo to be the one that gets the cross in. But there are still options in the middle for Manchester United with height. Joshua Xerxes, of course, expected to be the target man. It's gone in and it's blocked by Gay. Away it goes by Jeremy Pino. Chased down the left-hand side. Pino's going to chase his own challenge. He's gone in against Bruno Fernandes. Through the middle it goes to Mateta, and the referee blows for half-time. He's not blown for half-time. He's given a free kick to Manchester United. I thought he blew for half-time at the time that Crystal Palace were running through. He has blown for half-time, as the linesman's ran into
to our audio commentary coverage. This broadcast is not an official product of this competition.
Burmo, Mount and Xerxes. Dean Henderson just collects the ball from this cross into the box, sporting now his cap with the sun directed in his eyes, of course affecting his vision while Manchester United are attacking. But it's with Kamada on the left hand side now, played inside to Mark Gay, back to Kamada, finds some space, takes it into Manchester United's half, threads this down the left hand side for Pino, went on the same page, and it's gone behind for a Manchester United goal kick. So the score as it is at the moment, Crystal Palace leading Manchester United by a goal to nil, courtesy of a penalty that was retaken by Jean-Philippe Mateta, scored on both occasions to make it Manchester United 1, Crystal Palace 1, Manchester United 0. It moves Crystal Palace up into 4th place in the Premier League at the moment. They go back above Sunderland, and they do jump above Aston Villa, who do have a game to play, of course, against Wolves. And away it goes by Maxence Lacroix, stops it from going behind for a corner, and it will be a throw-in on the left-hand side. It does also leave Manchester United in 12th place, with potential of falling even lower if Liverpool get the win. They could fall themselves down into 13th place. In fact, if Liverpool even get a point as it stands at the moment, they'll swap places. Long throw into the area from Dalot, headed away by Mateta, headed back into the area by De Ligt, cleared away by Mark Gay up towards the halfway line, and Casemiro takes it back into his own half with a pass now to Lemens. Let this go all the way back towards the edge of his own area, and plays it out short now to Lenny Yoro, whose foul gave the penalty to Crystal Palace. Back inside now to Matthijs de Ligt, and across to Yoro. He's got Burmo to his right hand side, takes a touch on the ball as Mitchell closes down on Burmo. It forces him to go back across the middle for Matthijs de Ligt, and out to the left hand side for Shaw. Shaw down the line for Mount. Mount takes a touch and knocks this past his marker. Out to the left hand side, Mount then puts a challenge in with Richards, and it goes out of play for a throw-in on the left hand side to Manchester United. And it's with Diogo Dalot just in front of Ruben Amorim in the technical area of Manchester United. Outfield down the line, headed down by Lacroix. Kamada gets there, plays it out to Tyreek Mitchell, continues his run down the left hand side as Mitchell plays it over towards Mateta, headed down by Matthijs de Ligt. Casemiro back to de Ligt, and then out to the right hand side for Diallo, through the middle towards Brian and Burmo, and away it goes by Kamada. Throwing on the right hand side now for Manchester United, and Crystal Palace starting this second half very much on the back foot. They ended the first one in control. They could have had themselves maybe a second goal had it been for the referee blowing the whistle just before the 5th minute of added time had been played, as Diallo throws this back into his own half to Matthijs de Ligt. He takes this across the middle, out to the left hand side for Luke Shaw. Out to Mbermo. Now Casemiro to Xerxes, lays this off to Mbermo, who's making the run forward. Out to his right hand side, he's got support there with Amad Diallo, takes it to the edge of the area, sends it goalwards instead of putting the cross in, and it just hits the side netting. And a goal kick to Crystal Palace, but again forcing Manchester United with any of these chances on the edge of the area. Either the sprinklers or a slight downpour that's taken place at half time has led to a couple of puddles and a wetter surface for this second half than we saw in the first. And Dean Henderson will take his time to take this goal kick on the left hand side as we complete the first 5 minutes of this second half. Up towards Mateta, it's bounced over him, and de Ligt gets there to head it away, and it goes out for a throw into Crystal Palace on the left hand side. Across goes Chris Richards to take this. He's just told by the referee he needs to hurry up, to which he does so and gets a round of applause from the supporters as he makes his way to take the throw-in. Options again in the box for him. It's a long throw around the 6-yard box. Up from the back comes Mark Gay and Maxence Lacroix. He goes a throw to the near post, headed on towards Mateta. Can he get the shot away? No, he can't. Lenny Yoro gets there first this time. Towards the edge of the area goes his clearance. Pino tries to put it back in the middle, then Xerxes breaks away with Diallo. Good tackle by Lacroix, and it's fallen to Wharton. Xerxes puts the challenge in and gives a free kick away just outside the edge of the centre circle. Xerxes goes and apologises to Adam Wharton, who he didn't feel he'd originally fouled. A tackle initially to keep possession with Crystal Palace, as Manchester United were starting to break away. Again, Mateta standing as the furthest man forward for Crystal Palace. He's been marked by Joshua Xerxes, and it's going to be Pino that takes the free kick over towards the back post, headed in by Richards. Wharton lets it roll across his body, and Burmo comes away with the ball. He's tripped by Daniel Munoz, and there'll be a free kick now on the edge of the area to Manchester United, taken short, but Munoz, who's running back into position, gets there ahead of Diogo Dalot and gives a throw-in away, but it's much better than what it could have been. A throw-in on the left-hand side for Manchester United now. Taken short, over the top by Bruno Fernandes. Xerxes turns on the ball to try and thread it through for Bruno Fernandes. Doesn't quite get it to him, as now the tackle's made by Fernandes in midfield against Nketiah. Nketiah will receive a yellow card for this. The referee deems that a late tackle by the Crystal Palace substitute. Dalot turns back on the ball, and he's been held on to by Munoz, and it's just a sliding tackle through the middle from Eddie Nketiah. So surprised that Munoz weren't booked there as well. There were two of them that could have gone into the referee's book. And Fernandes stood over this free kick with options in the middle as Manchester United are preparing themselves to make their first change, and it's going to be Nusayr Mazraoui that comes on. Fernandes stood over this free kick. Into the middle it goes. Joshua Xerxes at the near post, gets in on his chest. Can he get a shot away? Yes, he can, and it's Peter Henderson at the near post, and it's gone all the way through, and Manchester United are level. From the most acute of angles, Joshua Xerxes finds himself in space, brings the ball down ahead of his marker, and on his left foot plays it across the face of goal, and it somehow gets through the legs of Dean Henderson at his near post. It's a simple goal to concede from Crystal Palace. Just looking at the replay to determine if he's onside. He is most certainly onside, but it got the run there of Eddie Nketiah from a very acute angle. I think Henderson was more expecting the ball to go across the face of goal, but it got the run of Eddie Nketiah, and he managed to beat Daichi Kamada to the ball also on the edge of the 6-yard box. And across the face it's gone. And the celebration from the Manchester United bench may just have put a halt to the substitution they were going to make. It's not, as it happens. We're now going to see that change anyway, but he just told Mazraoui perhaps to wait a moment. And Joshua Xerxes on the score sheet for Manchester United. Many United fans have been feeling that he needs to contribute something whilst he's got this chance, while Sesko is out injured, while Cunha is out injured. And getting himself on the score sheet with a goal like that won't have gone far wrong for him. The change is that Mazraoui is going to come on for Lenny Yoro, who has struggled in this game so far, not just by conceding the penalty. He's lost out on plenty of challenges against Jeremy Pino, and the head in the hands on the bench indicates just enough of how frustrated he is with his own performance. Diallo brings this inside. Pino battling at the moment to win it back with Mitchell. Pino then knocks the ball down past Amad Diallo, whose tackle is worthy of giving a free kick to Crystal Palace, said Rob Jones. Jeremy Pino from just inside of Crystal Palace's half will be the one to take this free kick. Over the top it goes. Munoz is going to try and keep this in play. He's not going to do so, and it goes out for a goal kick. It wasn't the greatest of free kicks towards the back post. It's gone all the way through. It'll be a goal kick to Manchester United. Out it goes now to Mazraoui. Mazraoui over the top towards Xerxes. Holds this up. Headed by Gay. Inside now for Kamada. Kamada forward towards Eddie Nketiah. Out to Pino on the left hand side. Pino looks for the overlapping run of Nketiah. He gets there just ahead of Tyreek Mitchell. And plays it back to Mark Gay. Through the middle. Cleared away as far as Nketiah on the edge of the area. Now to Kamada. Now Nketiah gets his shot away, but it's blocked. Falls to Mbermo. Tries to beat his man on the inside. He's up against Lacroix, who does well to win it back for Crystal Palace. Now Nketiah again, and the tackle's made, and a free kick's given in Crystal Palace's favour against Amad Diallo. For his tackle on Nketiah, who's getting himself involved in that final third. It seems to have woke up this Crystal Palace side, who were still in the changing room from half-time at the time of Manchester United's equaliser. They'd not yet come out for the second half. It was very much back foot stuff from the hosts. They were under a lot of pressure. Eventually it crumbled, and now Pino from just outside of the edge of the centre circle will take this free kick. Waiting for players to make a run into the area. Lofted ball over towards the back post, headed into the middle by Lacroix. It's offshore, it's clearance against Xerxes, and it's turned behind for a corner. And I think it will actually be, I'm not sure if it's going to be a free kick to Manchester United. Headed back in towards the middle, and Shaw's clearance bounces back off Xerxes and goes behind. Manchester United, that could very easily have gone in. It will be a Crystal Palace corner on that right hand side, and Wharton goes across to take it for an in-swinging corner. And in the 6-yard box at the moment, and it goes towards the near post, headed away by De Ligt. He'll be chased down by Wharton for a second attempt into the area, and gets the cross back in, headed away by Mazraoui. It's with Richards on the edge of the area. Tackles goes in from Diallo, and headed away by Diogo Dalot, now with Munoz on the right hand side. He tries to get it through to Yeremy Pino, but the flag goes up against him, and a free kick will now be given to Manchester United on the edge of the area. Very delayed decision to put the flag up by the linesman. Play short now to Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes out left to Shaw. Shaw makes the run down the left hand side. He's beaten his man as well. He's up against Nketiah at the moment. Munoz gets the challenge in. Plays it back to his goalkeeper, and away it goes by Henderson on the first attempt. Up towards the halfway line. Takes a bounce past Bruno Fernandes. It's back into Crystal Palace's half by De Ligt. Brought down by Casemiro. Brings De Ligt back into the game. Now inside to Fernandes. Fernandes out left for Mason Mount. Now Shaw. Back inside to Mount. Has that run there from Bruno Fernandes, but Lacroix's equal to it, and he concedes a throw-in, but it's on the left-hand side. Thrown back by Bruno Fernandes to Luke Shaw. Across to De Ligt, and De Ligt's ball over the top to Xerxes. Goes over everybody, and we'll go out of play for a goal kick now to Crystal Palace. Bruno Fernandes now goes joint 5th in most assists for Manchester United in Premier League history, level with Paul Scholes. Still remains some way off the top 3 of David Beckham on 80, Wayne Rooney on 93, and of course Ryan Giggs on 162. But 55 assists for Bruno Fernandes. As he was hoping for corner, and the referees waved that away and told Bruno Fernandes to step away. It will be a goal kick to Crystal Palace that Henderson will take. And I think the Manchester United captain is just hoping that Palace don't take too long, that it cuts away their efforts of building on this momentum they have brought with them into this second half. Nketiah gets there, lays this off for Mateta on the edge of the area. Mateta sends his shot goalwards, it's wide. It's going to be a goal kick. Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes just having a very harsh discussion with each other. Similar to what we got to see when Everton took on Manchester United last weekend, that led to a dismissal, but there were no hands thrown on this occasion. And the goal kick from Lamens, played short to Luke Shaw, and back to Lamens, who takes this to the edge of his area. And then out to Luke Shaw on the left by the touchline. Then Nketiah then moves across. Shaw goes over the top in the channel, flicks on by Xerxes into the path of Mason Mount. Continues driving forward. He's tripped on the edge of the area by Mark Gay as he tries to bring it inside for Amad Diallo, and a free kick's been given just as Crystal Palace were preparing to come away with the ball. And Diallo just helped back to his feet by Mark Gay, who was trying to protest his innocence just a moment ago. If Diallo knocked the ball past him, he's then ran into Mark Gay. I can understand the argument from Mark Gay's perspective, but I also understand it from Diogo Diallo. He's welcomed that challenge. The Crystal Palace captain concedes a free kick in a very dangerous position. Stood over this at the moment is Bruno Fernandes and Mason Mount. That goal earlier from Manchester United put them second on set piece goals after Bruno Fernandes' assist. Chip ball over the top for Joshua Xerxes, the one behind Arsenal at the moment, as Henderson just sets up his wall inside of the area. Bruno Fernandes and Mason Mount boasted over this. Fernandes plays this shot, Mason Mount sends it goalwards, and it's found its way all the way through into the bottom corner. Crystal Palace furious that the referee allowed the free kick to go ahead, but Henderson, while sorting out his wall, the pass was played short by Fernandes, and Mason Mount's first time hit into the bottom corner, it was tucked away. Crystal Palace still furious with Rob Jones allowing things to continue. And Dean Henderson just punched the ball away from the back of his goal. The turnaround is complete for Manchester United. While Henderson was sorting the wall out and making his way across, it was played short by Fernandes and then drilled short by Mason Mount into the bottom corner. But I don't think Mount looked even too ready for the effort or the pass from Bruno Fernandes. Nobody was stood in that sort of area. It took a while for any Crystal Palace players to react. And into the bottom corner it goes. Henderson couldn't readjust properly. Expected the wall to do its job. I don't think it's taken a touch from anyone on its way through, but it's found its way all the way through. Now, whatever was said at half-time by Ruben Amorim has really inspired this Manchester United side into this second half. It's a complete turnaround. Crystal Palace just haven't looked like they're getting going in this second half so far. A shell of the Crystal Palace side we saw in the first half, and Manchester United now hold a 2-1 lead over them, and how that could change things in the Premier League table. Out to Mason Mount now, on the left-hand side to Diallo. Diallo tries to beat Richards. It's with Diallo now. Holds play up, plays it inside. Wharton intercepts, but it's still back to Xerxes. Now to Mount. Mount switches this over to the right-hand side. In some space here is Amad Diallo. He's up against Lacroix at the moment. Inside onto his left foot. Can he get a shot away? Sends it goalwards and it goes over. And you can tell at the moment the confidence in this Manchester United side is continuing to grow. And it moves Manchester United up into 6th place. It pushes Crystal Palace down a further place into 7th. But Diallo, who gets the ball wide right, brings it in past Tyreek Mitchell. He goes up against Jeremy Pino, but still stays standing onto the edge of the area. He gets his left-footed shot over, but Manchester United are definitely the better side. As Xerxes lays this off for Mbeumo, and a chance for perhaps a third for Manchester United. Tackle made by Richards. It goes through to Henderson, who receives a nudge there from Diallo, but still manages to stay inside of his area. Rolls this out to the right-hand side. Oliver Glasner absolutely furious at the moment, and with the decision, I suppose, by the referee to allow the free kick to be taken. It will be considered controversial, but regardless, it is a goal. And over the top from Chris Richards goes all the way through, away by Mazraoui, headed on by Mason Mount. Pino brings this down. Now Kamada, back to Lacroix. Now Gay, back to Lacroix again, inside of the centre circle, inside of the own half, and back to Gay, and then back inside to Lacroix, out to the right hand side for Munoz. Munoz through the middle for Kamada. Kamada's got space to turn on the ball on the edge of the area, gets it to Wharton inside the area, drags this back, loses his footing, and away it goes by Casemiro. And now the flag goes up against the run from Adam Wharton. And that is the correct decision. Just again, took a while to get the flag to go up. And Lamens plays this short to Luke Shaw. And back to Lamens on the edge of the 6-yard box. Closed down by Mateta. Away it goes by Lamens upfield. Gay's going to chase this down. Turns back on the ball. Takes it up towards the halfway line. He's still got Mbermo over his shoulder. Through the middle to Pino. Pino takes his first touch to try and beat Luke Shaw, but the tackle comes in from the Manchester United centre-back, and Richards' clearance comes off of Mason Mount. It'll be a throw into Crystal Palace on the right-hand side, which Munoz will go across to take. Just whilst Bruno Fernandes just asks the referee for a moment, and now he's back to his feet and able to continue with the game. Munoz just throw down for Pino, back to Munoz. Up to Matete. Headed away towards Casemiro by De Ligt. And a free kick is given to Crystal Palace. Stood over this is Jeremy Pino with players forward again for Crystal Palace. Manchester United bringing everyone back to the edge of the area to deal with this defensively. Cross goes over towards the back post. Chris Richards heads this back in towards the middle, and Burmo brings this down on the edge of the area and tries to get away from Kamada. Mazraoui on the right hand side eventually gets the ball away, headed down by Wharton. Now with Gay. Tackle made by Mbermo, and it falls to Kamada again by the touchline. Goes back to Tyreek Mitchell this time. He's had to go all the way back to his goalkeeper, and it's with Henderson. And Henderson gets the ball away. Up towards Richards, heads this on, and away it goes by De Ligt. Still with Gay on the edge of the area. Cross goes in towards the middle, and Nketiah heads this on, but it's just wide. It'll be a goal kick to Manchester United. And Lemons will take this goal kick, and he's taken his time to do so. He's not going to be in a rush now to get things going again. Out to his left hand side it goes. Headed away by Richards. Now with Nketiah. Tackle made by Bruno Fernandes. Throwing on the right hand side for Crystal Palace. Throwing down the line towards Eddie Nketiah. He can't keep this in play, and it's out for Manchester United, thrown on the left hand side. Taken by Dallo, headed on by Xerxes. Nobody's there, and it's going to be retrieved by Lacroix. Back to Henderson, now out to Gay, to the edge of the area. Gay through the middle to Wharton. Wharton now to Kamada, lets the ball run across, and then he's brought down by Casemiro. I imagine that may well be a yellow card there as well for Casemiro. No, he's gone away with one. A yellow card earlier for a similar sort of challenge. Now it's with Mark Gay. Over the top. Chased down by Tyreek Mitchell, but it's bounced again all the way through into the arms of Lamens. Lamens drops this ball on the edge of the 6-yard box to his feet and plays this out short to Mazraoui. Mazraoui gets the ball away down the right hand side. Headed on by Diallo, and nudging the back there on Mark Gay, who's gone down, picks the ball up, takes the free kick quickly, inside to Kamada, back to Gay, now to Kamada again, down the left hand side for Mitchell, inside towards Adam Wharton, now Kamada. Fair play to Manchester United, they were alert and very reactive to the quick free kick that was taken by Mark Gay. It's forced Crystal Palace into their own half, and what they was hoping would create them a counter-attack, while Manchester United was unawares. Thrown on the left hand side now for United, and across goes Diogo Dallo to take it, as Bruno Fernandes again will just take a moment to sort his lace. Dallo throws this back towards the halfway line, and it's controlled by Luke Shaw. Into the middle, then to De Ligt. De Ligt outright for Mazraoui. Mazraoui outright to Diallo. First touch and dribbles this inside, now upfield to Xerxes, and inside to Casemiro, inside of the centre circle still, out to the left hand side, chested down now by Mason Mount. Then driving forward goes Diogo Dalot, and he's this time taking it past of Chris Richards, and the referee's not fallen for it and tells Diogo Dalot to get back to his feet. He feels that he was should have got a free kick for a very similar position to where Manchester United scored their second goal from. It was an outstretched right leg by Richards. Just going to have a look, and I mean, he's tripped him. His outstretched right leg's just caught the knee of Diogo Dalot as he's going forward. I'm surprised that one didn't go as a free kick. The referee's now going to give a yellow card to Luke Shaw for his comments towards the referee on the back of it. Don't seem very happy with the referee's decision. And as Crystal Palace come away with the ball, he trips Eddie Nketiah in the build-up. Free kick to Palace just inside of Manchester United's half. Now to Richards. Richards feints this to let it go past Mason Mount. Now to his right-hand side for Munoz. Under pressure, goes back to Wharton. Wharton's ball over the top. Headed away by Mazraoui. Chased down on the right-hand side by Tyreek Mitchell. But his momentum takes him and the ball both out of play, and a Manchester United throw-in on the right-hand side is the outcome. Again, United not in a rush to do so. Last 18 minutes of regular time. If you're just joining us, Crystal Palace 1, Manchester United 2. A second half turnaround, a much more inspired Manchester United performance in this second half. But don't forget, we've also got coverage of the other Premier League games taking place this afternoon for you. We've got Aston Villa against Wolves, Nottingham Forest against Brighton, West Ham against Liverpool, before at 4:30 Chelsea take on Arsenal. Away it goes by Gay, back to the left-hand side. And chase down towards Yeremy Pino. But he can't keep the ball in play. It will be a Manchester United throw-in, and he's given the ball to Mazraoui to take this throw-in. Over the top it goes to Xerxes. Heads this on now to Casemiro. And now Fernandes out to the right-hand side, but it's away by Munoz. Into space for Pino to chase, headed away by De Ligt. Now with Mount. Now Xerxes. Back to Fernandes. Fernandes out to the right-hand side now for Mazraoui, who's making this run forward. He's closed down by Kamada. Has the support there in the end by Diallo. Diallo takes this towards the corner flag, brings it back for Kamada. Brought down on the edge of the area now is Mazraoui. It will be a free kick to Manchester United out on the right-hand side. And it's going to be a yellow card to Mark Gay. He's the one that committed the foul for the second goal. He's been booked on this occasion. Bruno Fernandes, Brian Mbeumo both stood over the free kick at the moment for Manchester United. With options in the middle coming up from the back. Well, Mbeumo's now stepped away, so it is Bruno Fernandes only stood over the free kick, which I firmly expect to be an outswinged cross into the middle. From the edge of the area. Still can be a threat for United as it goes in towards the middle. It's a touch that comes from Tyreek Mitchell, which makes things tougher. Cleared away by Mateta. The edge of the area effort goes from Dalot into the stands, and it'll be a goal kick for Crystal Palace. And now the urgency is certainly there from Dean Henderson, knowing with 15 minutes left his side need to try and get themselves something more out of this. So we get to just see again the goal that was scored by Mason Mount. Two players that have really struggled to make a breakaway in this Manchester United side have got themselves on the score sheet this afternoon. Certainly a statement from both of those. Statement from Manchester United in general, a side that was starting to drift away from European qualification places. Eddie Nketiah brings this down. Bruno Fernandes is tackled. Dalot gets in there for the second time, and now it's an overlapping run by Fernandes. Brings it back inside. He's got Xerxes there for support. His ball forward towards Mbeumo. He gets there ahead of Gay. It's with Xerxes and Mbeumo, but neither know what to do with it. It's ball into Mbeumo in the end. Can he get his shot goal? Which he can, and it's held on to by Lemons. by Henderson, but it was a poor build-up from Manchester United. It was a good ball over, and Burmo gets there, knocks the ball past Gay, but then between him and Xerxes, they're not quite sure who's taking the shot away, who's going away with the ball or anything. And Xerxes immediately apologises to Burmo after the chance has gone. Now away it goes by Lacroix, flicked on by Pino, chased down by Nketiah. Shaw gets there ahead of him. Plays it back now for Mazraoui. Headed away by Kamada. Pino's going to chase it. Mateta's going to get there ahead of him. He's up against Mazraoui at the moment. Legs get tangled. Referee's given a free kick to Manchester United on the edge of the area, saying it was Mateta on Mazraoui that's led to the free kick. I think as Mazraoui's just got in between the two of them. Yeah, Mazraoui's is invited that from Mateta, but it's smart defending in the end. We're getting ready for a couple of changes for Crystal Palace. Will Hughes is going to be one of those, and Uche is going to be the other. So just to see who it is that's going to be making way. Adam Wharton's going to be the first to leave the field, so Wharton off and Will Hughes on in his place. That's change number 1. Yerry Pino is also going to be coming off, and he's going to be replaced by Uche.
But
those are your 2 changes for Palace. Still with a belief that they can get something out of this, and so they should. Now to Shaw, across the middle to Mazraoui. Now Casemiro, out to Diallo. He's had to drop back into his own half to get there. Mitchell was providing the press. He goes back to Lemons. Lemons gets that away. Headed on by Xerxes, out to Mason Mount. Headed down by Lacroix. And then back out to Mount. Into his own half now with a pass back to Shaw. Now Mount, now Bruno Fernandes. And back to Shaw. Now Fernandes. And Shaw into his own half. Now with De Ligt. Across to Mazraoui. Mitchell's now going to close him down as he gets the ball away down the left hand side. First to it is Mark Gay. Comes away with the ball. Inside to Kamada. Kamada then to Mateta. Turns on the ball and heads out to the left hand side. Now to Nketiah. Clearance away by Mazraoui. Gets to Bruno Fernandes. Throws a tackle in against Will Hughes. He's stayed down at the moment as Xerxes lays this off. And it's fallen now favourably to Mason Mount. And a chance for Manchester United still to press forward. Now to Diallo. Inside he takes this. Across the middle to Casemiro. Back to the halfway line now to De Ligt. And now Fernandes. Inside of the centre circle. Waits for Mateta to get to him and plays it across to De Ligt. And out to Mazraoui. Back to De Ligt under pressure from Mateta. Away it goes by Matthijs De Ligt all the way through to Henderson. And inside of the area he collects the ball. Rolls it out now to Gay. Gay back inside to Lacroix. Out to Nketiah. Turns on the ball but loses his footing. It's a breakaway now for Manchester United again. Driving through the middle at the moment is Dallo. Out to Brian Mbeumo. Cross comes in towards Xerxes in the middle. It's over him and it's punched away by Henderson. Going to be chased down on the right hand side by Mazraoui, who keeps it in play. Slide tackle comes in from Nketiah. It's going to be a throw into Manchester United on the right hand side. Despite Nketiah feeling that it should have gone in Crystal Palace's favour. Last 10 minutes of regular time plus any added time at the end of this half. Diallo stood over ready to take the throw in. Xerxes comes short, controls the ball, plays it back towards Bruno Fernandes. Tackle comes in and away comes Eddie Nketiah. And as the tackle's made by Mazraoui, it's ricocheted back off the shins of Nketiah. It will be a throw into Manchester United out on that right hand side as Oliver Glasner is looking on at the moment. Last 12 home games in the Premier League for Crystal Palace. They've won 6 and drawn 6 without a defeat since February of this year at home in the Premier League. Shaw plays this upfield. Laid off to Bruno Fernandes. Now to Xerxes. Back to Bruno Fernandes. Over the top on the right hand side. Chased down now by Mbeumo. Takes this to the edge of the area. He's up against Tyreek Mitchell. Brings this back onto the edge of the area for Bruno Fernandes. Cross comes in towards the middle. Just over the head of De Ligt, and it's fallen to Mason Mount, whose cross Back across the middle. He's put behind by Maxence Lacroix, and we'll have another corner out on the left-hand side for Manchester United. More defensive work for Crystal Palace to face. Henderson tried to catch to the ball just to stop it from going behind, and we will see another change for Manchester United on the way. And we'll see the introduction of Lisandro Martinez, who's coming on for Luke Shaw, who's received a booking. So a like-for-like change at the back for Manchester United. And it will happen, and he'll go straight upfield to attack this set piece as an in-swinging corner is on its way from Bruno Fernandes from the left-hand side. He's just waiting for the substitute to get into the area. Find himself as a bit of a threat. And it goes towards the back post, headed back across the face of goal, and a free kick's been given in Crystal Palace's favour for an impediment on Dean Henderson inside of the 6-yard box. Just looking who it was. Oh, it was Diogo Dalot. He's quite clearly blocked the Crystal Palace keeper. The referee's not hesitated to give a free kick. And away it goes by Dean Henderson. I think it's been quite a good game so far by Rob Jones, on all accounts. And now with Xerxes. Out to the left-hand side. Going to be chased down now by Mason Mount. He's up against Richards at the moment. Switches this over to the right-hand side. Diallo's going to try and get there. It's headed away by Tyreek Mitchell towards Kamada, who's up against Brian Mbermo at the moment on the left-hand side. Kamada has to go back into his own half. Plays it back to Dean Henderson on the edge of his 6-yard box. Gets the ball away before Mbermo gets there. Upfield it goes, headed down by Mazraoui. Then Casemiro out to the right-hand side for Mbermo. Now to Diallo. Mbermo's continued his run as Diallo plays this back instead to Mazraoui. Now inside to Casemiro. And now De Ligt. Across to Martinez for his first touch of the game. Martinez out to the left-hand side for Dalot. Dalot over the top into the channel, but it's gone straight into the stands, and it will be a throw into Crystal Palace as a smirk comes from the left wing-back of Manchester United after he caught the ball completely wrong with an outside of the foot pass intended. Now Mazraoui to Mbermo. Ball holds up slightly. Still on the edge of the area with Brian Mbermo, though. Brings this inside past Tyreek Mitchell. Can he get the shot away? Yes, he does. Just wide from Brian Mbermo. Nice finessed effort. Targeted towards the top corner. Just sailed past the post. But again, wide right. Just dribbles this inside past Tyreek Mitchell and gets it past Kamada. It's all too easy on that right-hand side. And now we'll see another double change by Crystal Palace. And it will be Justin Devaney. He will be one coming on, and Jefferson Lerma will be the other one coming on. So it's the last roll of the dice from Oliver Glasner. So Justin Devaney and Jefferson Lerma, the two coming on. At the expense, we'll see the departure of Tyreek Mitchell and Daichi Kamada. So those are your two changes, the final two changes for Crystal Palace to enter the final 5 minutes of this game. Away by Henderson. Diallo tries to head it away, but he can't clear it off the edge of the area. It's with Lerma. Tries to hold this up, but he can't do so. Headed away, not once but twice by Lacroix inside of his own half. Brought down by Will Hughes. Out to the left-hand side now. Devaney's going to chase this down on the edge of the area. Gets his cross in towards the middle. It goes goalwards instead. Goes over. And it'll be a goal kick now to Manchester United. Lemons, of course, with no rush to do so. Manchester United still with multiple changes available should they choose to use them. Some good options available on the bench as well. The side that's on the field at the moment have built quite a rhythm. Those changes they've made have been defensive. Done by Xerxes. Casemiro out to his left-hand side, but it's been let to run out of play by Daniel Munoz. And they're throwing to Crystal Palace, throws this down the line. Brought down by Nketiah. Tackle made by Casemiro again. At 10 yards gained by Crystal Palace. And Munoz again with the throw-in. Throws it down to Uche this time. Tries to beat his man, but free kick's being given to Crystal Palace. from beside the touchline as the flag was waved by the linesman immediately. And Rob Jones appreciates and utilises the support. And there were two challengers in there. It could have been Martinez just with the slight nudge or the trip that was made by Casemiro first, but it's a free kick in a dangerous position here if Will Hughes can put a good cross into the box. Up from the back, Mark Gay, Lacroix and Richards all in there. Lerma's in there as well. Ateta around that area. Uche's in there, and Manchester United forced a few yards further back just because of where the wall is positioned. Will Hughes, can he get a good cross in? Goes in towards the edge of the area, headed away by Xerxes, falls back to Munoz. Munoz shapes the pass back towards Will Hughes, but Mbermo's equal to it. Headed back down by Will Hughes into the area, and away it goes by Casemiro. Headed back down, and now with Nketiah, now with Lacroix on the edge of the area. The flag goes up against Nketiah. Be a free kick to Manchester United inside of the area. Just looking at the replay to see just how clear he was in an offside position. Yep, linesman's got that absolutely spot on, and Manchester United players had their hand up raised for offside as well. I think Oliver Glasner's frustration there was directed more at the delay in which it took for Lacroix to get back into an onside position than it was at the decision being made. But away it goes by Lamens, headed away by Richards, brought down by Mbermo, and Nketiah goes in with the tackle, turns on the ball, away comes Will Hughes, advantage given Palace. Hughes plays it out to his left hand side now for Lerma. Lerma can take this up towards the halfway line, continues pushing forward, he's got Devaney there for support, plays it off to Gay instead, and then back to Lerma, across to Lacroix. Inside of Palace's half at the moment, now with Richards, back to Lacroix. Inside of the centre circle, he's closed down by Xerxes, turns back on the ball again, back to Richards, and then Lacroix, back to the left hand side for Devaney. Devaney's first ball over the top, headed away by Mazraoui into Crystal Palace's half, now with Gay, now Lerma. Twisting and turning around the midfield area. He's closed down by Bruno Fernandes. Still gets the pass off to Richards on the right hand side. Now for Munoz. Munoz further down the right hand side for Uche. He's by the touchline. As Will Hughes there for support. Goes back towards the halfway line to Richards. Now inside to Jefferson Lerma. And across to Maxence Lacroix. Inside of the centre circle. Time is running out for Crystal Palace. Richards now forward to Will Hughes. Takes his first touch to bring this inside. Opens up a bit more space and plays it to his left for Jefferson Lerma. Prepared to play that across instead to Mark Gay, but it's now out to Daniel Munoz and back to Richards, and now inside to Lerma. Now Hughes on the edge of the area, turns away again, looks for Gay on the left hand side, wants the free kick. Referee's given advantage to Crystal Palace as Lerma gets the ball. Now to Mark Gay into the left hand side for Devaney, back to Gay again. It's closed down by Mbermo. United very much on the back foot at the moment as Richards down the right hand side finds some space here. It's with Uche. Can he get the cross in? No. Instead goes back to Lerma on the edge of the area. Now to Munoz. Now to Richards. Richards by the touchline through the middle for Hughes. First touch holds this play up. He's looking for supporting options. Cross comes in. It's blocked by Casemiro. Away by Lisandro Martinez. Hughes will go up for the header against Casemiro, who wins it and plays it inside to Bruno Fernandes. Can't get the clearance away. Uche tries the through ball. It's blocked well by Dallo. Falls to Martinez. Clearance away. Up towards the halfway line and out of play. It's going to be a throw into Crystal Palace on the right hand side. Last 10 seconds of regular time. Any added time to be added on? We are now into the added time. And Crystal Palace firmly in the ascendancy in Manchester United's half. Just need to get themselves a chance away. And now Manchester United will make their next two changes. And Dorgu will be coming on for Diallo. And Kobbie Mainoo will be coming on for Bryan Mbermo. So a very defensive approach to finish things off for Manchester United. With both attacking wingers coming off. 4 minutes of added time has been given to determine whether we will see Crystal Palace get themselves back into this, as Mbermo is slow to leave the field. He's already on a yellow card. Can't afford the referee to book him again. It would stop the substitution entirely. Kobbie Mainoo comes on in his place. So Amad Diallo and Bryan Mbermo off. Kobbie Mainoo and Dorgu on. Manchester United to try and shut up shop. Throwing on the right hand side now. Jefferson Lerma is across to take. Long throw into the area. Towards the Edge of the 6-yard box, headed on by Richards. Shot by Nketiah, blocked by the back of Fernandez. Back into the middle by Gehi. And now to Munoz. Out to the right-hand side, just kept in play there, and it's going to go out of play down the line for Manchester United, thrown from beside the corner flag. Bruno Fernandes holding on to his hamstring area. Just trying to see himself through for these last few minutes of the game, for his side to hang on. So it would be a very, very important 3 points. And in the battle for European football, a side that's there or thereabouts, so 3 points over them could be huge come the later stages of the season. Could be a very real difference maker as it's headed out of play and a throw in for Crystal Palace on the right-hand side. Cross goes Jefferson Lerma to take. Everybody into the area we go. Another chance for Palace to maybe get themselves on the score sheet. It was a very slow start to the second half, which is what led to this goal deficit. Thrown short to Munoz, crossing towards the middle, headed away again, and away comes Kobbie Mainoo, and he's been brought down by Jefferson Lerma. It will be a free kick now on the edge of the area, and a yellow card to the substitute. Just a late tackle as Manchester United was starting a counter-attack. I don't think it would have come to a goal, as they'd have more than likely just played a bit more reserved and held on to possession, which is what I fully expect to see them doing now, to the last minute and 20 seconds of this game. Stood over the free kick is Lamens. Over to the left hand side it goes, headed on by Dorgu. Into the channel, Richards away, up towards the halfway line, headed on towards Yuchi by Lerma. One back by Dorgu, away by Martinez. Over the top it goes now with Henderson. Henderson sending everybody into Manchester United's half. Can Henderson get the ball away? Up towards, deep into Manchester United's half, that's gone. Headed away again by Dorgu, brought down by Richards. Now for Hughes, back to Richards at the halfway line. Chip ball over the top by Richards towards the back post, headed away by Dorgu. Down by Lerma, now with Hughes on the edge of the area. Hughes turns back to get a shot away and can't do so. He's closed down by Kobbie Mainoo, and across it goes now to Richards. Now Lacroix. Out to the left hand side for Devaney in plenty of space. Cross goes in towards the middle, doesn't make it into the area. Headed away by Mainoo. Further away by Mount. Going to be chased down by Bruno Fernandes, but he's lost out on the ball to Lacroix. Lacroix comes away with it for Crystal Palace. Now with Hughes on the edge of the area. He's bundled down, and it's a free kick on the edge of the area in a dangerous position. Casemiro's the one that's committed the foul. We have had the 4 minutes of added time, and Crystal Palace have a free kick in a very dangerous position with a chance to draw level right at the end of the game as Hughes was setting up to get a shot away. Nketiah was wanting the ball thread through, but not too much Will Hughes can do about it when Casemiro is climbing all over him. Can Crystal Palace get themselves an equalising goal with mere seconds left in this game? Will Hughes stood over the free kick. Justin Devaney stood over the free kick. Lamens has just sorted his wall out and will make his way across. Mason Mount laid down behind the wall, just trying to ensure that he is behind where the wall is placed for any low effort that goes under. Looks like it is Devaney that's going to be striking this. Everybody forward for Crystal Palace at this point. Everybody back. Everybody inside the area from Manchester United. This might well be the last chance we get of the game. Devaney's effort hits the wall and it's cleared away. Going to be chased down on the left-hand side. Are Crystal Palace going to have a chance to get the cross back in? No, they don't. The full-time whistle goes. And after Mateta's penalty on the second attempt was converted to give Crystal Palace a lead and in towards half-time, a revitalised, a rejuvenated Manchester United side heading into the second half. First of all, through Joshua Zirkzee, after a ball over the top by Bruno Fernandes, found him in space at the most acute of angles, managed to squeeze the ball past Dean Henderson into the bottom corner to draw things level. And a few minutes later, very similar, free kick from the edge of the area. Bruno Fernandes took this quickly and laid it off to Mason Mount. Crystal Palace was struggling to get going at the beginning of the second half, and ultimately that's why they walk away with no points. It's finished at Selhurst Park.